So welcome back to the cheap car challenge there, guys. Unfortunately, we're back in the shed with the Commodore, and the reason being is because we have a little bit of a problem, don't we? And nothing we can't solve, but something that I did not want to have to get into. That's opening up a can of worms. And look, I've done a lot of that in my life. However, it's not one can of worms that I really wanted to open up. So this is not something I've ever done before either. So I'm just going off a little bit of forums and reading up, and you know, a little bit of past experience mucking around in the steering column and ignition here. But I've never ever pulled an ignition barrel, and that's what we're going to do today and show you how to fix. So basically what happened is I went to move the car off the backyard there, put it into the shed, which we're in the shed now, but there's a bit of a story on how we got here. So went to start the car, I put the key in and the key would not move, it would not turn at all. So what we did is we actually took the plastic housing off the key. As you can see, the remote's right there. So we stuck the key in and we removed all the plastic shroud and housing off the steering column here. We stuck the key in, and look, a bit of a trick I've learnt over the years through talking to other mechanics, and even my mate who's a locksmith has taught me this, but basically by applying pressure to the key there, I know it's twisting free now, but when it was locked up there, by applying pressure to the key there, and at the same time with your right hand giving it a bit of a tap or a knock with a mallet or a hammer. A hammer's really good because it gives it that direct impact. A mallet's a little bit soft, but applying direct, you know, basically a few knocks and what have you, at the same time twisting clockwise, you will get that key to turn. And look, you may hit it 100 times, you may hit it 200 times, you may only hit it 10 times. At the same time, make sure you're twisting your steering wheel just in case your steering lock is on, because you don't want that stopping you from twisting the key as you're bashing away there. So the only problem now though is that ignition barrel, well, it's had a hammering, literally. So we have to replace it. And look, you can see that little pinhole up the top there, right there in front of the torch. Basically that little pinhole, we stick an Allen key in there now that we've got the key to turn into the on position. We stick an Allen key in that little pinhole, and basically we can pull that ignition barrel straight out towards us and replace it with a new one in future. And look, we're going to have to get the barrel coated because I could buy a new barrel with new keys, new ignition barrel with new keys matching, and that's okay. All we do is pull the old one out, put the new one in. We've got new keys. But what happens when, look, we've got central locking, what happens if the remote ever dies? The new key won't match this lock, and neither will it on the boot. So what we need to do is get the barrel coded to the original key of this car, and also get another key cut. So they're all brand new barrel, new key, and we'll even get two done. So lucky my friend is a locksmith, and lucky we can do it all on the cheap. And look, we've never done this before. I've never pulled an ignition barrel out. I've done a lot of work around the steering column here, mucking around. I know how to hotwire cars too. We could easily hotwire this one, just divert the key. We won't though. That's dodgy. That looks dodgy. So we want to get this car on the road, and that certainly won't help. So anyway, we're going to pull the ignition barrel, show you how to do that. And as I said, I'm going to order one in future, get one coded to the old key. So we managed to find the right Allen key there. Don't ask me what size it is, but it fits. All the other Allen keys that I had in there prior, they're a little bit too small, and you could not hear or you could not feel it really click into place. As soon as I went the thicker sized Allen key there, it's really clicked into place, and I can feel that ignition barrel starting to pull out and move. There he goes there. So I'm just going to get Xavier to hold the camera quickly while he's here, and I'm going to use two hands and pull that ignition barrel out. And we're just going to use a little pair of pointy nose pliers there, and just hold that Allen key in, and there he is. So I just noticed there before, as I started to pull him out, a little bit of the housing snapped off and come with it. So maybe that was part of our issue. Maybe that was part of the ignition barrel there. Who knows? So look, I've never actually pulled one of these apart. I know how they work. I've seen them pulled out of cars. Whoops, now we've done it. We've locked him back in place. Never mind. So we've got the key out now anyway. And look, that's okay because we still need to replace this ignition barrel. And we're going to get it coded, as I said, get the barrel coded to the original key, because I don't want to have to replace keys and key locks on boots and doors and what have you. So it's easier for us to get this barrel coded. And what we'll do is we'll get my friend Aaron, who was a locksmith for, well, 15 odd years. We'll get him to do the barrel coding. So new barrel time now. Once we get a brand new one, we'll give you a look at that. And what we need to do too, I'll just grab the phone off you there, thanks Saz. What we need to do too is we need to clean up all inside the housing here. So all inside the ignition barrel housing, you can see how filthy it is. 20 odd years of people turning keys, what have you. And look, you'll see it's a bit wet in there. Even the barrel down below, it's a little bit slimy, greasy, wet, what have you. The reason being is because, well, last resort, to get that key turning, to get the car started before I did use a bit of silicone spray. But look, that is generally a big no-no. You do not spray anything down the barrel, down the ignition barrel, to try and get the key to free up, because, well, it generally won't. It'll just generally do more damage, more harm than what it's worth. So don't ever spray anything down your ignition barrel. Welcome back. It's been about 3 months on, and look, since we shot that last clip pulling the ignition barrel with young Xavier, 3 months on, and it's just gone past 10 o'clock PM at night. Some were wondering what I'm doing out in the shed. Well, I don't like TV that much. It's pretty boring, and I can't sit still. So here we are back on another job. We've been doing wheel bearings on a caravan today, dual axle wheel bearings, so quite a big job. And we had to pack and re-grease and knock out the hubs, and look, quite a big job. But the people are going away for 7 weeks, and look, 7 weeks on the road, wheel bearings are an essential part of travelling, a big maintenance item, and they need to be done because they'd never been done before. Anyway, what we've got here is back on the ignition barrel, as I said, 10 o'clock at night. I don't like TV. Here we are out in the shed, and it's nice and warm too, so why not? Look, we've got the old ignition barrel there on my left side. Let me zoom in. On the left-hand side there is the old ignition barrel. We've got the key still stuck in it. He does come out, but he's in there for now. And on the right-hand side is the brand newie. This cost me about $40-something on eBay. Just a nice cheap replacement. You cannot get OEM genuine original replacements anymore. They have to be aftermarket. This is a kit from the company called Nice Products, and as I said, about $40 odd, 45 thereabouts. So you'll get the kit, ignition barrel, and the key to come with it. So pretty cool. And look, sorry, not the key to come with it. I made a mistake there. Just the ignition barrel and the keys, little pins that go inside to code the ignition barrel. Now, what we did do, let me just sit up properly, my back's a bit sore. What we did do is we had the old key. So we had the new barrel from eBay. Let me pick him up again. We've got the new barrel, but we've got the old key. Now what's going to happen is if I code this new barrel to the old key, well, that's okay. It's probably going to work. That's fine. But what happens in future if this key breaks or busts or gets so worn out that it doesn't work anymore? We need to replace it. Now, if I code this new barrel under my thumb to that old key, when that key needs to be replaced, it's not going to recognize the barrel because the barrel should be set to basically genuine factory standard. So what I have also done, and look, I was going to get my mate Aaron to do this, but he's flat out with work. And to be honest, I didn't want to annoy him. So Aaron, if you're watching, mate, I know you would have done it for nothing, or, just done it, no worries. But look, mate, you're flat out. So I just end up taking it to my local locksmiths today, and I managed to get a brand new key cut. Now you can see the difference. I actually did say to the locksmith, how worn is worn? Because my old key looks a bit worn. But you might say, mate, it's absolutely horrible condition. So we got the new key cut, and what that is going to achieve, I mean, as I said, we could have used the old key, but the new key being cut, well, it's cut to the barrel, specifically cut to genuine original standards. So what that's going to do is, look, if we have to replace the key in future, the key plates, the lock plates that are inside the barrel here, it's going to recognise the new key. So it wouldn't have recognised the old key. I'm having trouble getting him out now. He must have turned a bit. So really, really cool. There he goes. Really cool. We've got the new ignition barrel off eBay, nice and cheap. And we got the key cut nice and cheap, and the barrel coated at the same time. And I was going to give that a go myself, but look, I let local locksmiths do it. And I'm good friends with both business owners, and look, they looked after me. So it pays to, what's the old saying? It's not what you know, it's who you know. Definitely in small town scenarios. So old key, old barrel, out with the old, in with the new. We're going to set you up on the tripod. I put them both in. There's a bit of a trick to get them in, and I'm going to show you that once we start. So let's start now. Right, well I hope you can see everything properly. As you see, we've got the brand new barrel, ignition barrel, and we've got the new key. As I said, spang dangling, they look amazing. Now, a bit of a trick with these is you need to have the key inserted and you need to turn all the way, as if you were starting the car. Because what happens if you try to put the new ignition barrel in, you got this pin under my thumb stopping you, and it depresses a little bit, but it does not depress and evenly sit right down flush until you basically locate that into the start position. So put your key in, turn him all the way to start position, and you'll see that little pin drops right down. So he actually sits right down below the housing of the ignition barrel. Now it's time to put it in, and we slot him in. So you can sort of push that pin down. He's going to go down anyway. Remember to keep that key in that same position. He's sort of going to go in. Oh, he just moved a bit. So off to the side there. Just make sure there's no debris or anything in there. It's been a little bit stubborn. We can put some lithium grease on this if we need, which we might have to if we get to it. Just to help slot him in. There he goes. All the way in. So don't really know if you have to have the Allen key inserted while you're putting the ignition barrel back in. I just did it, well, just because that's how it come out. But that's all the way in. Key picks up the back housing, the back ignition system, and look, if we had battery connected, that would be, well, there you go, that's starting the car. But it's not going to start because we still need to put the key fob housing on, and this little control sensor here, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, I can't remember off the top of my head, but this little sensor here picks up this plate as it goes around, and that's what starts your car. Without that little metal plate there, or without this metal plate being in contact here, as it's turning, there is no way you'll start that car. So we need to put the housing back on, take the key out, and put the housing back on, and put all the rest of the shroud, plastics, what have you on, and bingo bango, as said, tomorrow we are going to start the car. First though, we're just going to put the screws in and put the brand new key back into the remote. How awesome does that look? Right, let's turn that music down a little bit. It's just jamming away in the shed on a Tuesday night, 10:47 PM on the watch. We've got all the plastic shroud housing back on. The steering lock was locked on a second ago. It's not now because look at that. Absolutely perfect, and that would be starting the car. So that's, look, first stage is accessories, then you've got ignition, power, and then start. Back to normal, back to keeping the car running. So look, job done, absolutely spot on, perfect. As said, out with the old. I will be keeping the old key though, just not for keepsake. Look, just if I need to revert back to it in future. That barrel's definitely going to go in the bin though. So hope you enjoyed. For tonight, we are going to start it up tomorrow because we don't have any power on the battery just yet. So let's give you a look. We've done a lot to this car too. And next video, I've got some special announcements to make. What we're going to be doing with this car. Oh, that wasn't me. That was the struts. What we're going to be doing with this car though. So look, that ignition was a bit of an unexpected job. As said, I had it out in the backyard. I went to bring it in the shed. Look, it wouldn't move. The key went in and out, started the car for multiple times. And then all of a sudden it wouldn't. So unexpected job. We fixed it on the cheap, around about 80 bucks. We fixed all of that brand new and got it all coated, cut. And I'll just say too, that key, let's get him out of there. That key matches all our doors. So there's no worries about unlocking, locking our doors now. If we had went the other way and got a full key and ignition system off eBay, we would have had to also replace our locks on the driver's door, the boot. They don't have them on the passenger or rear doors, but the driver's door lock, the boot lock would have had to be replaced. All we would have had to carry around the old key. So look, not worth it. Not worth it at all. We've just got a matching key for everything now, and it makes it that much simpler. So as I said, we don't have power connected right now. We are going to do that in the morning. So it's pushing on 11 o'clock. We best not start it up. I've got young kids. Next door's got young kids. We better do the right thing. So, and it is loud. It's got 2.5-inch sports exhaust, and it'll reverberate around the shed walls here. So anyway, that's enough for tonight. I'm a little bit sore too. I need to pack up, get to bed, and look, tomorrow is D-Day. I said we're going to start it up here at Rumble. Look forward to it. Right, did I say the morning? I actually meant the afternoon. There it is, 4:30 on the watch. We've been busy off mechanicking again, doing mechanic jobs. We've been on call outs, doing services. There's my next job right there. Front set of rotors for a VZ Commodore, and I've got strut mounts and strut top bearings. We've got to compress the springs, and I'm going to show all that. So look, there's the next job right there. It never ends with cars. Sometimes it gives you a bit of a headache, but look, awesome stuff because it's great knowledge to have. And look, I really enjoy sharing these videos. As I said, it's not morning though. As I said, we'd see you in the morning to start the car. Well, not really. Let's put power on, just because I forgot to do that. We did disconnect in there last night. Always good tip to remember, just to save your battery. Now, let's jump in at the green machine and let's see what we got. That key is just beautiful too. Absolutely perfect. So let's have a look. In park, fuel pump. Oh, we've got nothing. There it is. And it's alive after 3 months. So there we go. Key works perfectly. It picks up the housing, obviously. I just had to push him in a little bit. He just maybe wasn't making contact with that pin. So awesome stuff. VS Commodore lives again. We'll turn him off. We don't want to gas ourselves out. We just wanted to make sure that key worked. Absolutely perfect. Let's have another look. Battery's a little bit sluggish. How good's that? How good is that? I'll tell you what, we can do stuff with the help of the locksmith. So just perfect. New key, new barrel, all fitted up, and look, the project car lives on for another day. So look, we are going to be doing more parts, and as I said, more series to this video. And as I said, there is a lot more to come. I've made a bit of a decision. I've been looking at it, working on it, and just thinking. And look, I've made a decision. So I'm not going to drop that right now, but we will in future videos. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be doing with this VS Commodore. I hope you enjoyed the ignition, and look, we're good to go for next time. We'll see you then.